What is up, everyone, and welcome to another video on behalf of Dota Alchemy. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you again to our sponsor for this video, which is Skillshare, and we will tell you a little bit more about Skillshare in just a minute. But in this video, we are going to be talking about meme or meta, and this week's topic is going to be Nature's Prophet. Is it a carry? That's the question we're going to try and answer. And we'll get right into it after this short message.
Skillshare is an amazing and affordable learning platform where anyone can explore and improve at a wide variety of skills and crafts. Joining the Skillshare community gives you access to hundreds of amazing video guides by experts in fields like art, design, business, and so many more. I've personally used the platform to learn a lot more about the business side of YouTube and improve my video editing skills. The first 500 people who click the link in the description below will get 2 free months of Skillshare Premium and access to everything the community has to offer. You'll also support Dota Alchemy directly by doing this. Plus, you might just discover your next passion. I don't know about this thumbnail. I wish I knew how to make better ones for YouTube so people would click on our stuff. Wow, that was really insightful. Perfect.
Nature's Prophet has been one of the most popular heroes in Dota for a long time due to his versatility. Though it started off as an offlaner, it has transitioned into being more of a support these days, but it does kind of feel like you can build whatever your team needs on a Nature's Prophet and it's going to be effective, simply because he has the ability to be anywhere on the map and contribute at any point. That being said, I saw that Arteezy had been playing a ton of Nature's Prophet recently, and it got me a little bit curious because he was owning with it. Now, full disclosure, most of these games Arteezy was playing offlane because he was queued into a game with another very high-level carry player, and he tends to let other carry players have the role if they're not as versatile as he is. However, there was one game where Arteezy was playing safelane Nature's Prophet due to some role swaps. He was technically drafted as the offlane, but ended up playing in the safelane because they wanted certain matchups. And it got me thinking that maybe carry Nature's Prophet is an underrated way to play this hero. First of all, Nature's Prophet is one of those heroes that has an unbelievable level of stat gain. Not only does Nature's Prophet start off with a good amount of base damage and base stats, he also has some of the best stat gains in the entire game across all of his attributes. 2.6 strength gain is really good for a ranged right-click hero, and 3.6 agility in particular is an amazing stat because if you compare it to many other agility heroes, most of which tend to be carries, Nature's Prophet actually ranks near the top in terms of agility gained per level. And that means that he naturally ends up with a ton of armor and a very high attack speed. In addition to that, he also gets 3.7 int per level, and that means that his base damage ends up being quite high as well. So with those stats, he actually kind of looks like a carry. Now, as we hop into the game, there are quite a few things that I wanted to point out that Nature's Prophet brings to the safe lane that are quite unique to the hero. And the first thing is that he has minions to help him last hit. So a hero like Lycan tends to be very good in the lane stage due to his high base regen, his high damage, and the fact that he has these wolves that give him essentially 2 extra quelling blades to help last hit creeps with, and Nature's Prophet benefits from the same kind of thing. Another really cool thing that I saw Arteezy do, and this is fairly game specific, but he's actually going to be using his treants to block the small camp, knowing that Axe is going to try and cut the wave and drag it to the small camp to farm both. So he's using his treants kind of to support himself, and then that is going to make the lane a lot harder for Axe. And when Axe does end up cutting the lane, Arteezy is going to end up using the treants to tank the creeps outside of tower range while he last hits them, and so he saves himself a bunch of damage. The next thing that I noticed that Arteezy was abusing on Nature's Prophet, and this is a very unique thing to this hero, is that anytime he needed extra regen or to get some items, instead of using his courier, of course, he just TPs home and then teleports back to the lane. And normally the safe lane is the lane where you kind of have to utilize your regen very intelligently. You need to use your courier often to bring yourself more regen because it's a generally pretty tough lane. It's far away from the fountain. You cannot walk back if you want to have a good lane. And this actually allows Nature's Prophet to have essentially zero downtime. Even if he gets very low, he heads back to fountain, picks up his items, maybe brings a little regen if he needs it, and then is basically back in lane without missing a single creep. And that is something that is absolutely crazy to think about. Carries love to not have any downtime because they want to just be farming all the time. They want to be getting as many last hits, as much experience as possible, and really accelerating their game. And Nature's Prophet has this incredibly interesting, unique ability to be able to always be on the map as long as he's not dead. Another really important part about playing the carry role is that you want to try to have as much impact as possible while you are farming your items. And that means generally rotating when you have a power spike that guarantees a kill, if it makes sense, if it's close to where you want to be on the map, if it's close to somewhere that you want to be farming. But Nature's Prophet has the unique ability, of course, to be anywhere on the map at any time. He's almost like Spectre in that regard, except he can teleport to a fight on a much shorter cooldown. And this means that despite being kind of a carry hero, despite needing to get a bunch of items, despite needing to farm, you can also, at a moment's notice, be where your team needs you to be, and then you can quickly return to where you want to be farming without much hassle. Another really cool thing that Nature's Prophet provides in the carry role is that generally as a carry, you want to be playing where your team has given you vision, especially when it comes to claiming objectives such as bounty runes, outposts, or towers. And this relies on your teammates to, whether it's smoke up to ward, to walk there first, to put their bodies between you and the enemy team, essentially, so that it's safe for the carry to be there. But Nature's Prophet can summon a bunch of moving wards, and he can use them to scout areas that he wants to head to, or that his team wants to head to, and help everybody secure objectives without having to risk any heroes. Another interesting consideration for why Nature's Prophet might make a great carry hero is that a lot of the time as a carry, you tend to farm away from your teammates. You don't really want to be near them. You want to stay away from the fighting as much as possible until you have your power items. And this means that most of the time, carries don't really contribute to early fights unless they have some major power spike or the team happens to be farming towards them and a fight breaks out near where the carry is. On Nature's Prophet, however, you don't have to concern yourself of farming near your team or away from them because it doesn't matter. If there is an opportunity to take a fight, you can be there. And that is a super unique thing which allows Nature's Prophet to farm as efficiently as he wants in terms of far away from his teammates, but also be there at the same time. Again, kind of like a Spectre who tries to play on the exact opposite side of the map for the entire game until a fight breaks out, in which case then you haunt. And Nature's Prophet, like I said earlier, can basically do this on a much shorter cooldown than Spectre can. Another really important consideration when you're playing carry is how you approach team fights. Most carries don't want to be the first hero in. They want their offlaner or some tanky hero to make the initial jump, and then they want to show up and target heroes based off of the information that they have. Nature's Prophet is so good at this as well because you can show up a little bit later than most carries would be able to, and you can teleport yourself directly to where you want to be positioned in the team fight, whether it's directly on the back lines, whether it is onto some high ground, whether it is directly onto a hero that's getting very low that you want to eliminate. Now, I do want to cover a couple of downsides of playing Nature's Prophet as a carry, because this is meme or meta. We need to have a little bit of a discussion about whether this is actually a legit thing that you can take into your games. And so, a couple of the cons of playing Nature's Prophet as a carry are, number one, your teammates are probably not going to expect it in pubs, and therefore they might initially tilt if you are not having the best game, or even if you just simply draft the hero when they're not expecting you to. The next thing that I did notice is that the hero does suffer a bit from not having the greatest escape mechanics. A lot of our popular carries these days have something like a built-in BKB in terms of Lifestealer, or a juggernaut. They have high mobility skills like Slark's Pounce, Ricky's Blink Strike, or Phantom Assassin's Blink. There are also other considerations, such as the fact that Nature's Prophet doesn't really have a traditional skill set that accelerates his damage or ability to man fight people. Troll Warlord, for example, is built to 1v1 the enemy carry. Phantom Assassin is built to accelerate damage so quickly that you can blow up supports in one shot. So I think when we're looking at all of our information and determining whether Nature's Prophet carry is a meme or meta, you need to consider all of the angles. And I think the thing that kind of pushes him over the edge in my mind to being a potential meta pick in the carry role is that when it comes to the late game, when you hit level 25, I don't know if there's another hero that has the same carry potential as Nature's Prophet, assuming that you have itemized in a way that allows you to abuse your global teleport with no cooldown. Being able to be everywhere on the map with only a moment's notice, being able to rat and fight and head back to base and pick up items for your team and swap stuff out, and then rat again in the same team fight is something that basically no other hero in the game can do. And that allows Nature's Prophet to just have such incredible impact when the game gets crazy, when people are trying to save their buybacks, when people are trying to defend their racks and take fights at the same time. And being able to be everywhere at once is just something that no other hero in Dota can do. So, carry potential, I would give Nature's Prophet 2 thumbs up. He is definitely a very item-dependent hero when not played as a sacrificial support, and that kind of lends itself to being a carry. So, let me know what you think in the comments section below after watching this game and listening to the points that I've made. Is carry Nature's Prophet a meme, or is it going to be the new meta in the current patch? Thanks for watching as always, and good luck in your games.